guys, it's time.
All right. Andrea's requested that she have some time to give her testimony, and we want to give that to her and celebrate with her. And so Andrea is going to be full of surprises tonight, as you may suspect. And thank you all for being here. Let's give it over to Andrea.
Hello, everybody. So I would like to share my testimony with y'all guys tonight in honor of me graduating at USF. Woohoo, go Bulls! Yeah! Okay. So to start off, I just want to let y'all guys know I am saved and I am a Christian and I want to tell the world. I got saved when I was a little girl. I don't know how old I was. I don't know what day it was. I don't know what year it was. I was just really small. There was a magician named Mr. Mark who came to our church and he presented the gospel. And I recognized that I was a sinner in need of a savior and that Jesus Christ is that savior. So when I accepted into my heart as a little girl, I've been a Christian ever since. Sorry, I'm really nervous. I'm not like a public speaker or anything, so just bear with me. So I try to condense my life, about 25 years of it. I am 28. I condensed about 25 years into a video. So if you would direct your eyes to the screen and enjoy.
My first video was just way too long, so I'm going to break it down in each one of my life with Andrea American Idol Edition. So my story starts off with my family. I have a very large family. I'm actually number 5 out of 8. But the story doesn't start off with all 8 of us. It starts off with me as the youngest. But the other 3 come in later, and they're very important. So here I am, a strong, spunky, has no fear, confident 3-year-old who on Wednesday night was playing basketball outside by herself when I missed, and the basketball flew itself across the street. I did not want to lose the basketball because I was outside playing by myself and I wasn't supposed to be. So I, in a blind fear, will run across the street to get this basketball that is going down the hill when I get hit by a car. Now obviously I survived this crash. I actually did not have many injuries except for a broken femur. The next step was to go to the hospital, which incurred quite the bill. So in the hospital, they had to give me a double cast because I was so young that if they put a cast on one leg, the other one would have grown, and they didn't want my legs to be uneven. So I had this double cast, but ultimately I recovered and I'm completely fine. But my dad always told me that he was never going to financially recover from that accident. And my siblings all kind of mimicked that thought, and that created a core memory in me. Well, this is where my 3 younger siblings come into play. Because I thought of myself as the reason that our family was financially unstable, I felt it was my responsibility to take care of them. But I had no way of doing that. And that's when I had this idea that I could win a whole bunch of money by singing for, you guessed it, American Idol. I watched it season after season with Kelly Clarkson and Carrie Underwood and how they went from rags to riches. And that's when I decided that when I turned 16, that I would audition and win, and I would be able to bring our family out of poverty, and I could take care of my younger siblings. So when I actually turned 16, things very much so changed. I decided to get a job to hopefully help with all of the financial struggles that I brought upon the family. I wanted to add value to my life, so I did everything in school I could possibly do. I played basketball, I was in marching band, I was in the International Baccalaureate program, I was so involved in my church, and I had this massive hole in my heart for my family that I felt being my responsibility to take care of. And if you look at all of these accomplishments and these things, you would think I'm doing amazing, but deep down, I just felt so terrible inside. So at this point, basically all of my self-worth is coming from school because my teachers were just so kind and motivating, and I had such immense stage fright, it just didn't make sense for me to go for American Idol, so I decided that I should be a teacher. So in high school, I meet this guy who loves the Lord as much as I do, and he fills this hole in my heart, gives me all the love that I need, and we get engaged on my 19th birthday, and then we get married, and we decide I'm going to go to school to be a teacher, and he's going to go to school for computers. During this time, I'm still pursuing music, but it's just for funsies. So our marriage progresses, we were able to get a house in April of 2020, even though COVID was really bad, and I'm in my last semester, in my last internship for school before I graduate, when the love of my life, the man who told me that I was worth something and that I didn't have to do all these things, was in a terrible accident. A 19-year-old who did not have insurance ran the red light at 65 miles per hour, hitting my husband while he was taking his coworker home. He had sustained several injuries, with major ones being a severed artery in his left leg, a broken femur, and intestinal damage. He was transported to the hospital where they immediately had surgery to graft a vein from his right leg to put into his left leg to fix that severed artery. And while that surgery was successful on the vascular side, it was not successful on the nerve side. Even though they were able to connect the nerves, when you connect them, there's always a chance that they do not communicate with each other, which led to the decay of his foot. It started with the capillary veins and went further. And while that was happening, we had discovered that the seatbelt had hit his stomach so hard that it devascularized some of his intestines, and it wasn't caught immediately, and his intestines ended up perforating twice. He had gotten sepsis the second time, and they had to go into immediate surgery. Now going back to the foot situation, we had ultimately decided that amputation would be the best route. This would mean that my husband would be left permanently disabled, but he was so incredibly positive the entire time. His intestines hadn't healed correctly either, so he ended up having to get an ileostomy. Luckily, the ileostomy was not permanent, and he had an ileostomy reversal 6 months later. And I stayed with my husband through it all because when I made my vows to love him in sickness and in health, I meant it. My husband was able to get his prosthetic leg and recover to the best of his ability. And after this accident, I didn't envision myself returning to school, and I was honestly scared that something might happen to him, so we decided to start a family. We were expecting our first baby, and we are so incredibly excited. Even though I'm not going to school to be a teacher and I've basically given up my dream for American Idol, I knew I've always wanted to be a mom. Things were going well until. And even though we were expecting a baby, my husband had no hesitation in allowing my family to move in with us. We had gotten so much support from our local churches and our community. We had no problem getting all the food and clothes that we needed, but my dad did not have a job, and I had to provide for my family, because after all, I was the reason that they were financially unstable. Or so I thought. I'm 6 months pregnant, my dad sits next to me on the couch, and we start talking about my husband's accident and how the person who hit him did not have any insurance and we didn't get any money. And he's like, you know what's crazy? That's exactly how your accident happened. The lady who hit you did not have any insurance. And you know the crazier part? I could have gotten everything paid off for free if I filed through Medicare or Medicaid. I am not joking when I say I felt dizzy immediately. My heart was beating so fast and my life flashed before my eyes. What about all the responsibilities I had? You were telling me because you forgot to file the claim, I thought that I was the reason we were financially unstable? Anyways, because my dad was now unemployed and I was expecting a baby, I had to get a new job. So this is when my life as an insurance adjuster started. So where we last left off, I was pregnant and my family had just moved in with us after the fire, and I was supporting them in the new job, and I told them I would support them all the way until our baby was born. And so here I am at my job, working as hard as I can, and I'm doing such an amazing job. I'm getting great remarks from all of my coworkers and my supervisors, and it's making me feel good. I feel really good inside. This job was such an amazing blessing to me. But I think because I was pregnant, the job was just taking it easy on me, and everything went smoothly with the birth of our daughter, and despite all of my husband's health conditions and whatnot, we were doing the best that we could, and we were such a happy family, the three of us. And I thought I moved past all of my trauma and that I was getting better. It all kind of changed when I went back to work. With a newborn baby and with me not being pregnant anymore, the job just got harder and harder, and I was not succeeding like I was, and that made me feel worthless. I had never tried so hard at something and failed so miserably. If you remember from my childhood, I had to do all of the things so that I felt like I was worth something, and that coping method worked for a long time, and that's where my original idea of trying out for American Idol came from. But things are different this time. My inherent value does not come from my family. It doesn't come from me trying to be a teacher. It doesn't come from me being a wife, and it doesn't come from my past. I found new meaning in valuing myself, and that value comes from none other than God. He is the ultimate, unchanging, and loving Savior that I needed this entire time, but I was just too blind to see it. So this time around, I'm auditioning for American Unfortunately, I didn't make it this time around, but that's okay, because my worth doesn't come from here. Don't forget that Jesus loves you and you are worth it.
So that took me a really long time to make. But as you can probably tell, it's a little out of date. So as you can see, I had in the video, I had one kid. Since then, I've had another one, and I've had 2 career changes, and I've graduated. Woo! Yeah. But my testimony is not done yet. So let's get up to speed. So I was working that job as an insurance adjuster as long as I could. I'm a trooper. I'm never going to give up. They literally had to fire me for me to quit. And that's kind of what happened. They drove me to a point where I was very depressed. I woke up dreading my life every single day. And I did quit. And I didn't have another job lined up. Even though I was looking for jobs for like 6 months, I couldn't find anything. So I took a leap of faith and I quit that job. And unfortunately, all of my worth comes from success. And when I'm not able to succeed, I feel worthless. So unfortunately, next slide, I had to go through the padded room protocol. If anybody knows what that is, I'm not gonna explain it. I'm not. But that was a really, really rough time for me when I was in that situation. And from that, I wrote a song called Lazarus. And not everybody here knows who Lazarus is or the story of Lazarus, so I'm going to briefly go over it. In a nutshell, Lazarus was a good friend of Jesus, and Lazarus died, right? So Jesus goes to see what's going on, and he sees the other people there crying. His friends are crying, and they confront him. They say, if only you were here, he would be alive. And at that point, Jesus cries too. In fact, it's the shortest verse in the KJV Bible. It's John 11:35. Jesus wept. And then he rose Lazarus from the grave, right? So what's the significance? It demonstrates that God is not detached from human suffering, and he understands our grief. So with that in mind, please listen to my song. I'm also really nervous. Even though I know everybody in here, that's just how I am. I still have stage fright. Anyone who says they know me would say I'm a happy person, but they don't know what goes on behind closed doors. I think of life beyond these blue skies and what I would do in heaven, giving praises and the glory to the Lord. 'Cause though I'm blessed, I still feel sad, like when Jesus wept when Lazarus died. 'Cause even though we know there's gonna be a happy ending, right now I feel so bad. Anyone who loves the Lord would know that life ain't easy. Each chapter brings new trials and new tests. I long to hear him say, well done, my good and faithful servant. You are weary and you're burdened, come find rest. 'Cause though I'm blessed, I still feel sad, like when Jesus wept when Lazarus died. 'Cause even though we know there's gonna be a happy ending, right now I feel so bad. Jesus heals the hurt. Jesus knows my pain. Jesus is my rock, and he knows my name. He is my God, the Lord of all. God, please help me. This is too much for me. Open my eyes to see all that you've done for me. 'Cause though I'm blessed, I still feel sad. Like when Jesus wept, when Lazarus died. 'Cause even though we know there's gonna be a happy ending, sometimes it's okay to feel a little sad. Sorry. Sorry, guys. Keep going. It's okay to be sad, but it's not okay to stay sad. You have to keep moving. Okay, I gotta keep going. Okay, so when I quit my job as an insurance adjuster, I was unemployed for 3 months. That's a really long time. I had been employed ever since I was 15 years old. And I've literally had a job my entire life. So for me, not to be a provider, it makes me feel worthless again. But I decided after I left the padded room protocol that I would build a new me. I decided to read the entire Bible and pray with intention. I'm still reading the Bible. I'm currently in James, but I've been reading it every single day. I also enrolled into USF right after that. Like, I didn't even know what was going to happen. I didn't have a job. I didn't have a scholarship, but I knew that I wanted to continue moving forward. So I enrolled into USF at that time, and I started enjoying life again. I forgot what it felt like to sing, to draw, to do all the things. I started animating. I have kids. I don't want to forget how important family is. So I started enjoying life again, right? And eventually, I got hired. Woo! And I started school at USF. So I'm hired. I was a claims representative, very different from my previous job. I was doing short-term disability and FMLA, and I felt good. Like, I was helping people, and I was just re-solidifying myself. I was learning to love me again. And that's where this next song comes from. It's Loves Me by me. Yeah, so here it goes. Lately, it's been really hard to love me. I feel useless a lot, but you don't care about those days. I just care about those days. Trying to do what I can and not fret about the things out of hand. 'Cause when the moon shines down on me, my mental health is my responsibility. 'Cause I'm learning to love me unconditionally. Found there's a joy in letting things be. And I know that it is hard to release these inner thoughts, but we know that all things work together love me for me and not care what I think others think. 'Cause when I'm sipping my Thai tea, my mental health is my responsibility, my priority. 'Cause who I wanna be is within my ability. But I'm struggling to love myself again. So I wrote this song to remind me of your love, your love. 'Cause I'm learning to love me unconditionally. I found, sorry. Unconditionally, I found it. Sorry, I found it. Found there's a joy in letting things be. And I know that it is hard to release these inner thoughts, but we know that all things work together for good. To those who love God and are called to His purpose, 'cause He knows I'm worth it, not because of what I've done, but because He loves me. Thank you. Moving on. Oh, okay. So this is a real test by fire. At this point, I am building myself, right? I am learning to love me unconditionally, right? So I'm working there for 9 months, and I'm trying to change things up. I'm trying to make things more efficient. People love me there, and I'm trying to revolutionize risk management. So I got access to Adobe Pro and revolutionized the risk management return to work process. How? By formatting the PDF to allow people to sign it digitally, rather than making people print it out, sign it, and email me a blurry picture. But unfortunately, the supervisor said she wouldn't sanction it. No idea why. Next day. First day of unemployment. Where I work, there's a 12-month probationary period, and if they don't like you, they can get rid of you for no reason, basically. I did leave on a green separation status, so if I wanted to go work there, I could, but I kind of don't want to. So, previously, when I left my job, I fell into deep, dark depression, and I wrote a song that is really sad. This time, I cried for probably like 12 hours or so, but then I got over it really quick. I was like, you know what? This is God's plan. It's okay. I'm going to get through it. With Jesus, with God on my side, we're going to work through it together. And in less than 24 hours, I got a new job. Woo! Less than 24 hours. Literally, I went home. I was like, babe, they let me go. And they were like, oh, man. So I'm applying for jobs. And then Desiree, she did all those snaps, those pictures earlier. She didn't see them. And then the next day, she was looking at them like, PDF, cool, that's nice. And then I sent a snap saying, first day unemployed. And she was like, huh? And then she asked Victor, are we hiring? Do you want to take my sister? And Victor was like,
They suggested it.
They suggested it. So I called Victor. I was like, hey, because it was like literally the next day of me being unemployed. I was like, Victor, when do you want me to come in? And he was like, oh, you can come in tomorrow at 11. I was like, cool. I went in the next day at 11 o'clock, and then I clocked in at 12. Same day. Incredible. And during that time, I also graduated. So if you look at my life, there's lots of ups and downs going on here. And at any point, I probably could have comped out and been like, this is enough. But with the strength of God, literally the strength of God, it kept me going. And there were some points when I was really, really deep, I would think of self-harm. I haven't thought of self-harm in over a year, but I used to think about it ever since I was a little girl because I always felt I was the reason we were financially unstable, and that's just what my mind went to. And when I met my husband, he filled a hole in my heart. When I was succeeding, that filled a hole in my heart, but there was still an emptiness. Only God can fill that hole. But sometimes when I was really, really deep, I told my husband if I ever died, I would want this song to play at my funeral. But I'm not dead. And I'm not going to die yet, hopefully, God willing. But I want to play this song to symbolize the death of the old me and the birth of the new me, the one that's going to love me unconditionally. So this is We Live by Super Chick. There's a cross on the side of the road where a mother lost her son. How could she know that the morning he left would be the last time she'd trade with him for a little more time? If she could say she loved him one last time and hold him tight. But with life, we never know when we're coming out to the end of the road. So what do we do then? With tragedy around the bend, we live, we love, we forgive, never give up. 'Cause the days we are given are gifts from above. Today we remember to live and to love. There's a man who waits for the test to see if the cancer has spread yet. Now he asks, why did I wait to live till it was time to die? If I could have my time back, how I'd live. Life is such a gift. So how does your story end? Well, this is your story, now all depends. So don't let it become true. Get out and do what we were meant to do. And we live, we love, we forgive, never give up. 'Cause the days we are given are gifts from above. Today we remember to live and to love. Waking up to every dark morning, people are mourning, whether our life outside is storming. What'll it take for the clouds to break for us to realize each day is a gift somehow, some way? Taking our heads out of this darkness and spark this new mindset and going off life 'cause it ain't gone yet. The tragedy's a reminder to take off the blinders and wake up. Live the life you're supposed to take up, moving forward with all our heads up. 'Cause life is worth living. We live, we love, we forgive and never give up. 'Cause the days we are given are gifts from above. Today we remember to live and to love. We live, we love, we forgive and never give up. 'Cause the days we are given are gifts from above. Today we remember, today we live in love. So we live, we love, and we forgive. I don't think God wanted me to share my testimony yet until now because I was holding on to some bitterness. And I would like to publicly ask my dad for forgiveness for holding on to this bitterness for so long. Daddy, do you forgive me? I forgive you.
Thank you.
Okay. That's it for me. Pastor Peter's gonna come. We got cake and pizza and stuff like that. Yeah, I'm turning over to you. Thank you so much, everybody.
Woo.
Sorry.
Oh, this is what it's all about, right?
Thanks for watching. My story isn't over yet. Don't forget, Jesus loves you, and I encourage you to pursue a relationship with him.